We shall be seeing a short passage from the Book of Death, Book 8, Canto 3. It's called Canto 3. Actually, that's the only canto in Book of Death, eighth book. It's only Canto, but it's called Canto 3. There is a little history behind that, but we'll not go into that part. Why it is called Canto 3? The background is something like this. Narad has predicted the death of Satyavan exactly 1 year after the marriage of Satyavan and Savitri. He said, "This day returning, Satyavan must die." This day returning means from the time he uttered that sentence, this day returning, from that day exactly 12 months are given to him and her to be together. And he says he must die. There is a kind of a compulsion, there is a kind of a necessity, there is a kind of a divine design behind his death. And it is that which is now being seen here in this canto. Now it happens in what is called the destined meeting place in the Shalva forest. The death occurs in the Shalva forest where Satyavan and Savitri live in the hermitages in the company of other sages and rishis and seers in the forest they receive. Now, Savitri is aware of the death of her husband. On this particular day, at this moment, he is going to die. And she has kept that knowledge of his death entirely to herself. She has not told that thing to anybody at all, neither to Satyavan nor to any family members, nor to the sages. Nobody is aware of the possibility of this event taking place on a fated day, you see. But when she is aware of it, Savitri prepares herself yogically. She does the yoga and she is guided to do the yoga. She is told, do this, do this, do this, do this, and she follows the instructions completely. And she is now kind of ready to face the moment of death. It is a conquest of death, for which Savitri has come as an avatar here specifically. That is her mission, that is her task. As long as there is death present in this world, there is bound to be falsehood. So if the falsehood has to go away, if there has to be the reign of truth in this world, the necessary condition is that death must be removed. Until now, so to say, the falsehoods were tolerated, falsehood was necessary, death was necessary for a certain kind of progress when you are in the world of ignorance. So death was there purposefully. But now these things have matured up, have come to a particular stage, they have grown up in such a way that no more that kind of a death is necessary and therefore that death must be removed. Now who can remove that death? After all, death is nothing, he is none, but the Supreme Himself who has taken that particular form. And who can remove that thing? It is only the divine Shakti of the Supreme Himself who can do that thing. Therefore, she comes here as Savitri, she does yoga tapasya, she prepares herself in the mortal world here to meet death and conquer death. Now, therefore, if the reign, the governance of truth has to be there, then death must be removed first. Therefore, when Narad says that this day Satyavan must die, that must mean that, well, now the moment has come in the evolutionary history that death has to go away and life will progress from life to life, from immortality to immortality, in the domains of immortality at all, without the aid of death, without the presence of death, without the presence of falsehood now. In other words, there will be the reign, there will be the governance of the truth in this world. So that is the new manifestation which is going to take place with the occurrence of the death. So this is a very great event in the evolutionary history, a complete change from the governance of this evolutionary process from death to immortality. It is the world of immortality which will get established here. That is a new manifestation, the new creation. It is that which is now foreseen in this one. And when therefore Narad says it must die, it means that there is a kind of a divine sanction for that thing to happen. Yes, now evolution has come to a point that it can remove death and make further progress in the world of truth and light and beauty and joy and happiness. So it can go in a very different way altogether, you see. So it is in that context, this is a very important section also, and we are coming to that point now. Now, as far as the story is concerned, the background is concerned, Savitri has prepared herself yogically. Now she is, so to say, waiting for the moment of death. See, she is counting. Yes, now 2 days are remaining, 3 days are remaining, 4 days are remaining, and my husband is going to die. But she's ready for that kind of a thing. She is counting the days, 3, 2, 1. The moment has come now here. And on the fated day, early morning, she gets up and she worships goddess Durga in the forest, in the hermitage. The statue of goddess Durga was carved by Satyavan himself. Goddess Durga is the one who removes all the obstacles on the path. She is the one who removes all the obstacles on the path. So she gets up early morning and worships goddess Durga and asks for her blessings, for her protection, her power to be present when she is going to meet there, you see. And with that thing, now Savitri goes to her parents-in-law, to the elders there around, and says that today, please allow me to accompany my husband to the forest. My husband is going to the forest to do his daily work. He has to collect fruits and firewood and vegetables and whatever is required for the daily thing. He goes for the daily work in the morning. And she says that, look, I have been with Satyavan for 1 year. I had never been to the forest. But please allow me to go to the forest today. She pleads the permission of her parents-in-law and then say that this Savitri, she had never asked anything at all for us so far. How can we refuse what she is asking today? You see, how can she refuse? And they say, yes, you can go, but be careful also. So now Satyavan and Savitri were happy that the permission has come from the elders that they can go to the forest and be together also, you see. The lovers, they got the full company, they are available in the forest like that. Now, when Satyavan has absolutely no idea that shortly, in another 4 hours, he's going to die. He has no, see, maybe early morning at 8 o'clock, they start from the house, and then the death is going to take place at noon, 12 o'clock. So he has no idea that this is going to happen now. But he is very happy that his beloved is in his company, is accompanying him. And she had never seen the forest and the trees, the mountains and the rivers and the birds. Nothing she had seen earlier in the forest. So he is very enthusiastic to show every detail of the forest to her, crossing the rivers, showing the plants and the flowers and all those significant things which are there. They are joyous and happy together. But then Satyavan, when they reach the place where they do the work, he does the work. He says that let me first quickly finish off my daily work of collecting the fruits and flowers and plants and all that thing, so that we can have more time to be together. The lovers are there, we can have more time. And therefore he tells Savitri that let me first finish off the work together. And he starts working very hard, very vigorously, and in the process he feels exhausted. He feels extremely tired. He feels exhausted, and his strokes become erratic and all that kind of a thing. There are cleaving arrows piercing in his brain. This is what it says. As if some arrows are piercing. There is such pain in my brain. As if some arrows are piercing my brain. Savitri knows what is going to happen. Shortly, he is going to die. And therefore, he tells Savitri, Savitri, please let me get down from the tree and rest in your lap so that I will get full protection from you. I will get full protection from you. Let me rest here for a while in your lap, you see. And it is at that time then Savitri takes him in her lap. Now, the important point here is, the side point is here is, see, Yes, Naran has told that Satyavan has to die 1 year after the marriage. That is the statement. But he does not tell, of course, he will not tell also that he is going to die in a particular place, at this, in this manner, and all that kind of thing. He is not going to tell. He is going to make a statement here. The death occurs in a lonely place in the forest. He simply says he will die 1 year after the marriage. The death could have occurred in their house, it could have occurred somewhere around, it could have occurred elsewhere also. But the important thing is this death is going to occur in a place where there is no human contact at all of anybody. Neither his parents are present, neither the rishis are present, nobody is there except Satyavan and Savitri in that whole forest. There is none at all, you see. Now that is important. See, just imagine had the death taken place in the house, had the death taken place in the house, then there would have been hue and cry and weeping and all that kind of a thing which follows, you see, remorse, pathos, and that sort of a thing. And in that case, Savitri would not have been able to do her occult work. See, in the company of everybody around and all that thing happening, how can she do her occult work? So the poet, the yogi, the occultist is careful in telling us that the death has to take place in a lonely forest where there is none. There is nobody at all around that thing, so that she can meet directly God to God and conquered death, you see. Had it happened in the house, it's impossible that kind of a thing to happen. So the poet, the yogi is particular that the death should take place in a lowly, distinct place. This is the place where they met for the first time together, Satyavan and Savitri, a year earlier, and now the death is going to take place exactly at the same place where they had met together, you see. And it is without the knowledge of anybody else in the world except the parents of Savitri, because they were present when Narad was made the force, and Savitri, of course. Nobody else in the world knew about this event, you see. So when Satyavan and Savitri have finished their work, Satyavan feels exhausted. He falls in the lap of Savitri.